Hi, my name is Beth, and you're listening to the Canna Fitness and Nutrition Podcast, where we are hanging out at the intersection of fitness, nutrition, and cannabis. Thank you so much for pressing play today. I'm super excited that you're here because this is an important message today. Now, particularly if you are around my age, I'm 47 and I'm right in the thick of that perimenopause age, heading on our way to menopause. But this is really applicable for anyone of any age. If you're younger, if you're already out of menopause, if you're past that, this is important because cravings and low energy are super common. It's probably, as a trainer and nutrition coach, it's probably one of the most common things I hear about, right? It's the exhaustion, the no energy, right? We're exhausted for a lot of reasons, but exhausted, no energy, lots of cravings, uncontrollable cravings, like desperate for sweets or desperate for chips, desperate for salt, desperate for fat, those cravings that are just feel so uncontrollable. And you're like, is it my hormones, or am I too young for that? Am I too old for that? But the number one question that I ask people and the number one answer that I get back, my question is, how is this your sleep? How have you been sleeping? And typically the answer that I get back, unfortunately, more often than not, is not well. I don't sleep, or I can't fall asleep. I lay there, I toss and turn, my mind's racing, I'm looking up at the ceiling, or falling asleep, but then waking up in the middle of the night, especially that like after midnight, early morning hours, waking up and then not being able to go back to sleep. That is also really common. So as soon as I hear that, in addition to weight gain, no energy, and cravings, then I know what the first issue is. The first thing we need to tackle is sleep. You have to have quality sleep. Without quality sleep, you're just spinning your wheels, honestly, because if you force yourself to work out, you're going to be more tired. You're probably not going to do as much because you're exhausted. You're probably not going to get as much out of it. You risk injury, right? You risk putting yourself in a position where you're not either fully, thinking things through, or you just miss a step. You trip over something on accident because you're tired and you're not as focused. So not sleeping has a huge impact on your workouts. But then if you do manage to struggle through a workout, when you go to sleep at night, you're not sleeping all the way through, your body's not recovering. So then now your muscles aren't recovering, they're not rebuilding. You didn't get all the oxygen back to your muscles, it didn't get all the nutrients it provided. All that stuff happens while you sleep. So your muscles didn't recover, your body didn't recover, and you wake up feeling even more like garbage. And then I hear, oh, well, I thought exercise was supposed to give me more energy and I'd feel better. Well, it does, but you have to sleep in order to get that. So, what I'm saying is the biggest thing that you need to worry about first, before you worry about the cravings and before you worry about having no energy, is sleep. Now, and this is where I love implementing cannabis because we're really using it for you to sleep. So if you're not comfortable being high or buzzed with it, then you don't really have to worry about that because you're going to go to sleep. So it doesn't affect you as much, right? So you get to use it and not have to worry about functioning during the day, where you might not want to be even lightly buzzed, or you might not want to be even, lightly intoxicated, because microdosing is really popular right now, which is taking like a milligram or 2 milligrams at a time. And it's so little that you barely even feel anything, but it is effective. It really is effective. But that's a different topic. So, what I'm talking about today is taking cannabis for sleep. And here's what you need to know: you need to know that THC helps you fall asleep. Okay. THC helps you fall asleep. Now, that being said, not all types of THC help you fall asleep. So if you're looking for help falling asleep, you're going to look for what we're classifying as an indica strain, right? An indica strain is typically one that's more sedating and it's going to make you more sleepy, okay? Beyond that, if you want to get really technical, then we're looking at certain terpenes. So, for example, limonene, which is that lemony scent, which they put in cleaning products, for example, because it's energizing. Body wash is a good example too. Body wash often has like a citrus to it. That's because everybody knows that limonene is a citrusy scent that provides energy. It's energizing, right? It's invigorating. But you don't want that if you're trying to sleep. So if you're going to get really into the details, I would not buy a THC product that has limonene in it because it's going to be energizing and you don't want to be energized at night. So you're going to want to search for a terpene that is more sedating. And that's, there are some that are more sedating, but it's also going to be different for everybody, right? So, myrcene comes to mind. Myrcene can be sedating to some extent, but that's a more complicated discussion. So for now, I want you to focus on indicas, right? Just indica type cannabis, THC, to help you fall asleep. Now, the thing is, a lot of people stop there, and that's because it's known. You'll see a lot of marketing for sleep, and it'll have THC in it that is supposed to help you fall asleep. But what you really want to look for, and what it's out there because the manufacturers are getting smart, is you want a product that has THC and CBD and or CBN. So CBD is the non-intoxicating part of the plant. It's just like THC, except it works differently. It comes from the same place, comes from the same plant, but it works differently in the body. It doesn't bind to the same receptors, so it's not having the same effects. Now, some CBD can be sedating as well, so they would be indicas as well. But what it really does in your body is it helps you stay asleep because CBD goes deeper. This is how I like to think of it. Is CBD goes deeper in your body and it helps regulate all of the systems in your body. CBD is really where the wellness benefits are in cannabis. The THC has a lot, but CBD has a lot. And working together is the real magic. That's really what's going to help you sleep. So when you're looking for a product, if you're at the dispensary and you're looking for a tincture, a gummy, or a pre-made product, look at the label. Everything should be labeled in the dispensaries, and make sure that your product has both THC and CBD. Now, I mentioned CBN. I would say the N is for nighttime. CBN is similar to it's similar to CBD, but it's more sedating. Okay? So it runs more sedating. So I wouldn't take it during the morning because it might put you a little bit sleepy, right? But it's not going to make you intoxicated. So it's not going to make you high. So if you see something like I've seen a lot of products that have THC, CBD, and CBN in it. Okay, so what that's doing is it's giving you the extra boost of relaxation and sedation. I don't actually like the word sedation. Let me strike that from the record because it just sounds like you're gonna like pass out. But what I'm saying is relaxing, sleepy. Let's call it sleepy. So the THC, CBD, CBN combination that I'm seeing a lot of is what's going to make you sleepy. The CBD in it and the CBN in it are going to keep you asleep. And that's a lot of times that's the missing link for people. I have this conversation a lot is that people are saying, well, I'm taking THC and it's not working, or I'm still waking up in the middle of the night. And that's because there's no CBD. So when you're looking for flower, if you're inhaling, then it's really important that you're using flower that hasn't been modified that still has THC and CBD in it. So you want to make sure. Now, again, everything is genetically bred now, so you can look for certain strains that have higher CBD amounts in them or that have CBN in them. So that's something to consider when you're shopping and when you're looking for it. And I can help you because it's so hard to give specific advice on the podcast because there's so many different things out there and everybody's different. So while I might say, go try this, a few people it might work for and a few people it might not. So it's so unique. So always feel free to email me and let me know. I do hang out on Instagram, so you can get into my messages if you want and send me a message and just say, hey, this is my issue. I've tried XYZ and I want to know what else to try. I can help you with that. And so that's what I'm saying is you're looking for certain products, but in general, different things are going to work for different people. What's cool now is in the dispensaries, a lot of products are saying that they have all of those things in it, which I really like. Drinks as well. A lot of the drinks now, they are designed to be relaxing and make you sleepy. So they've got CBD and CBN in it in addition to THC. The other nice thing about it is that CBD reduces the high feeling that you get from THC. So while it's going to prevent you from getting completely stoned, so if you like that, then you may not want to heed this advice. But if you're not sleeping, then it's worth trying. And again, you're going to be asleep, so it kind of doesn't matter if you feel high or not, or if it's too high or not enough high. That part doesn't matter. Until you are ready to go to sleep, you can play with the amount of high that you enjoy. But when it's time to go to sleep, you want to sleep all the way through the night because that's what's going to give you more energy and reduce your cravings. When we're not sleeping, our body, again, it's not recovering. You don't wake up refreshed, so you don't have any energy, of course. And of course, you don't want to work out because you have no energy. So it makes perfect sense. But, a lot of times my clients are beating themselves up because they're not accomplishing what they think they should be able to accomplish, but they're also not sleeping. So what I say to you is, if you're struggling with energy and motivation to work out because you just always feel exhausted and you have a lot of cravings and you're not sleeping, fix the sleep first. If that's your takeaway today, then that be it. Fix your sleep first, and that will fix everything else. Use cannabis to help you sleep. Again, you'll be asleep, so if you're not comfortable being high, it doesn't matter because you'll be asleep. And if you don't mind, then that's fine too. And you want to look for a product that's an indica that has CBD in it with the THC to help you fall asleep and stay asleep, and embrace CBN. It's new, it's out there, it's in a lot of things now that the manufacturers know you want to be sleepy, and that's what's going to help you be sleepy. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope that message got across. If you do want more specific help and picking out a product or deciding what type is best for you specifically, shoot me an email. It's beth@cannafitnessnutrition.com, and I hang out on Instagram. It's Beth_cannafitnessnutrition. Thanks for listening, and I will see you next time.